Man. Had to do it. It's so close. It's so close.
Very close.
We're going to talk about risers and fallers, but who cares about that right now? Dustin, tell us about Daily. I'm so excited.
People care about risers and fallers.
Not about the title. They want to talk about Daily, and then they want to hear who it is.
It is not too late to get your Smack Talk shirt. If you sign up for DraftKings before the start of the season, use promo code FST or follow the link in the card or in the description. Follow the instructions there and sign up. Using the promo code FST or using the link, you get a Smack Talk shirt.
Get a shirt!
Deposit at least $5 or more, and DraftKings will give you an entry into a free game. What's not to like? You got to get in there if you haven't already.
All right, so as I alluded to, or clearly stated, in this video we're going to talk about risers and fallers based on the preseason, other things that we've heard, obviously. Guys that we like a little bit more and a little bit less in the draft. So I'm going to start with the easy one. Guy we like less, Jordy Nelson. He's done for the year. Guy we like more because of that is Devontae Adams, and we absolutely love this kid, and everybody does. Everyone always had him on his radar. There's actually, we had talked, like, if you get Nelson or Cobb, this might be the only case where you'd actually handcuff a receiver, so I doubt anyone did that. If you did, good for you, but this kid's got legit talent. I mean, we moved him up to 53 over on our rankings. Quarterback loves him, teammates love him, he was MVP of OTAs, just a lot of talent, gonna have a big year.
Next, let's talk about Mr. Doug Martin. I mean, he's definitely moved up probably a full 2 rounds, I would say, in terms of where he was getting drafted in the the really super early drafts. Right now, we have him ranked as our 55th overall player. We think that's about where he needs to go because there is still a little bit of the weariness there. Do you really believe all the reports? But everything has been super positive about him. Winston should hopefully make that offense just a little bit better. I don't think it's necessarily been Martin's fault the last 2 years. He hasn't looked that great, but that offense has been awful. It could be legit this year. I mean, I don't know if he'll go back to his rookie stats, but 1,000 yards is definitely not a question.
And it's a contract year.
And Brent loves contract.
Love guys in a contract year. All right, let's talk about another guy, and that's Marcus Wheaton. With him going up our rankings, the guy coming down is Martavis Bryant. And that happened because Big Ben was talking up Wheaton a lot early. And then we found out that, Brian's been getting down a little bit. And so he's suspended 4 games for marijuana use. So Wheaton's been bumped up, Last year, though, Wheaton was supposed to be the breakout guy. And he had 53 catches, 644 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Because Bryant did extremely well. So just kind of buyer beware a little bit with that. But I still love Wheaton based on his ADP where you can get him right now. I think he is a bargain. I will own him in all of my leagues until his ADP gets out of control. And that's probably very soon.
It probably will be very soon after this latest report. Next is Eddie Royal. I think he's very interesting, mainly in PPR leagues, obviously. That's where his true value is. But with the Kevin White injury and with Brandon Marshall gone, I mean, they really don't have... I mean, yes, they have Bennett. Yes, they still have Forte. But I really do think Royal's going to fill very much that possession-type receiver for them. I think 80... If he stays healthy, I think 80 catches is his floor. I think
floor.
I mean, if he's who else are they gonna throw it to? In terms of volume, I mean, Marshall was getting how many targets? I mean, there are plenty of targets to go around out there. If Royal stays healthy, he's a steal where he's going in PPR leagues.
All right, next guy I'm talking about is John Brown. I love this kid. They call him Smokey Brown too. Look, I got this whole getting down theme apparently. So here we go. John Brown. The reason I love this kid is because he fits the Bruce Arians offense so well. We clearly saw last year when he stepped on, he had those big games. Everybody knows about that. But the little sneaky side notes that I like, he actually lived with Carson Palmer this year. Like in the offseason, they roomed, they lived together, they wanted to add chemistry. And everything you hear, first of all, he's had great preseason games already. All that you hear about him out of training camp is he's not blowing away people. I think he has a ton of upside, and I love where you can get him in drafts.
Moving on, we got Mr. Victor Cruz. We had him. We haven't really moved him from where we had him.
We haven't had to, really.
It may have been.
Everyone else has, but
we may have been a little bit too optimistic a couple months ago in terms of where we had him, but we thought he would have enough time to get back from the injury, and it seems like he has. And I think people are forgetting too much about him. Yes, he's the Giants' 3rd receiver, but they're going to throw the ball a decent amount. He's going to see plenty of targets. He still has big play potential. Where you can get Victor Cruz, I think he's still very much worth the gamble just because, if one of those 2 guys goes down, he could be right back to where he was, 3 years ago or so.
All right, got a faller in Calvin Benjamin, same reason as Jordy, because he ain't playing this year. So obviously a guy gets bumped up for that, and that's Devin Funchess. And or I talked about him on the rookie preview show, and people were like, "Oh, what's he gonna do?" No, obviously I didn't know Calvin was gonna go down, but the reason I liked him is he is. Oh, I do that every time. Every time. Benjamin. That's all I'm gonna call him from now on. You're now Benjamin to me, and that's it. So anyway, this kid though is 6'4", 230 pounds. That is a monster for a wide receiver. Now they say his route running's not the best, and his hands aren't the greatest either.
You don't need hands to be a receiver.
But who else they got to throw it to? They really got nobody else. They got Olsen, and that's it. So you figure if he is playing all the snaps, they're gonna have to look at him.
He's gonna get.
He's a late round guy. Late round guy.
Sure. Next, we got a guy that kind of burst onto the scenes. I don't think many people were looking at him, 2-3 months ago, but now you have to. Brandon Coleman out there with the Saints, he's really kind of emerged as a guy that could have legitimate value this year. I mean, you look at that, lineup with Jimmy Graham gone, Stills is gone. I mean, yes, Cooks is going to look at a bigger role, but can Colston continue the role that he's had? And if Colston can, or if Colston gets hurt, I mean, Coleman could just get thrust on a lot like Adams in terms of overall upside, I feel. If Colston's out of the picture, Coleman, I think, jumps up almost 100 picks. I mean, this guy's just because of that offense and how many potential targets he could get. So he's definitely a high upside guy you can get a little bit later.
All right, here's a guy that's a riser for us, and that's Abdullah, rookie running back for the Detroit Lions. He's looked great in camp. Everyone says he's a beast. He's tough to tackle. So, all those things is the reason we moved him up, but I actually think he might be starting to get almost overhyped and overvalued. He's still going to be in somewhat of a committee with Joyke Bell, obviously. It looks like Bell will be ready for week 1, and I've seen him on these pre-rankings of sites 40, 38, and that's too rich for my blood. I'm not spending that early of a pick on him. With that said, we moved him. We have him at 57 overall, so it's not a huge difference, but I wouldn't take him at 40, but I mean, you gotta like what you're hearing. You got,
I mean,
we like what we're hearing.
And Bell's still a little banged up.
Yeah, but he should be ready week 1, so.
It should be interesting. Josh Hill's guy I want to talk about. Now, this is a guy that we never really had that much faith in, even when we were doing our tight end rankings a while back. And now he's not Jimmy Graham, and it's not, just because he's going to be out on the field more doesn't mean he's going to have a ton of fantasy value. And I think people are really coming back down to earth on Josh Hill. I mean, preseason rankings, 2 months ago had him, I think, around the 12th tight end.
Maybe even higher. I think he was inside the top 10.
Yeah, in some rankings I think he was.
Nuts.
But
not ours.
He's come back down to earth. There's still a little upside there, but I mean...
Of course there is, but you're hearing Watson's going to get some more run there anyway. I mean, it's...
He's not Jimmy Graham.
He ain't Jimmy Graham. All right, Dustin, close this out.
So that's Risers and Fallers. Get into our forums if you got any questions. If you want to read our app, go to the App Store and get it on your iPad, or download the Kindle app on your phone, and you can get it on your phone. Just search for Fantasy Football University if you're looking for some of that. Don't forget about DraftKings, and subscribe to us on YouTube.
Follow us at Fantasy Advice. Like us on Facebook. And who says read our app? That's just weird. It's download if you want to download our app.
Well, you download it and then
it's
you
getting
read
old.
it.
I understand that. It's like an old guy thing to say. Are we getting old? Is that what you're telling me? You're making us look old, Dustin.